Hi everyone. Once again, I'd like to welcome everyone to the channel. And yeah, in today's video, I'm going to be doing this project because I see a lot of people are a bit confused, and I've been getting a lot of messages on how to do this project, Grams 2. So I'm going to try and attempt it. I hope you guys will benefit from it. It's not going to be a long video, but yeah, I'm just going to go through it and highlight some of the stuff. Yeah, so I'm hoping that when you look at this video, you'll have your project open. I mean, you'll have your instructions open or your scenario opened, or if you don't have it, I will leave it in the description box below for those who don't have the scenario. So let me start. So in this case, I'll read my scenario on my side. They are saying that Grams wants a report that shows the name and the discounted value for each customer. He also wants to know the total sales, the cost of those sales, and the profit or loss from the sales, the number of customers, and also the number of customers buying crepes, irrespective of whether they also buy mussels or not. The sales from customers buying 10 kg of mussels or more. So which means if you bought 10 kg or more, you'll get we want to calculate the sales from that. So there's once again they are saying irrespective of whether they also buy crab or not. The average number of kilograms bought for mussels and crabs as a whole kilogram only. He also needs a chart to illustrate the sales he has made to the different customers. Make provision for 6 customers. So let's try and attempt this together. I'm hoping you have the project open on your side. So I'll first start by adjusting here. So what are they looking for? They are looking for the total sales. How do we do that? We're going to use, because they want the total of something, so you use sum. We'll use sum for that, and then sum of what? Sum of the sales. Then you get your answer. This one is the most trickiest one that people have been struggling with, so I'm going to try to be slow when doing it, so that you may understand why and how did I do it. So in this case, you'll say equals to. What are they looking for? They're looking for the cost of sales. So what is the cost of sales? Cost of goods that we have in the business. That's our cost of sales. So what is the cost of goods that we have in the business? Well, we will go back to this side. If you remember, if you did Grams 1, you'll remember very well here that they told us that the cost for the mussels and the crepes is 25 rand 40 cents and 25 rand is 12 rand 40 cents and 25 rand 60 cents. Those are the cost, and the retail price is 21 rand 70 and 44.80 after adding what? The 75% markup. After adding this 75% markup. So what are we looking for? We're looking for the cost of sales. How do we get the cost of sales? Which means we're going to calculate the cost of goods that we have in the business. So I said equals to, you type in sum here. I forgot to type in this sum. What are we summing? We're summing this. We want the total cost of this. So okay, let me just fix my formula. Okay, so we are going to say equals to, and then we shall sum here. and then it's going to be sum of what? Sum of our goods that we have, the number of items that we have, sum of the number of items that we have for what? For, we will start with mussels, because we have two types of products, the mussels and the crabs. So we'll start by summing these. After summing these, you close your bracket because it's sum to the range, so you can't be using operators here. You can't be plusing, you can't be minusing here. It's sum of a range. Then you close your bracket. That's when you can use operators. What are operators? Operators, it's your plus, it's your minus, it's your multiplication, it's your divide. When you are dividing, those are operators. So we're going to multiply this with the cost, right? And then we do this for the same, we do the same thing for the other part, of which it's our quantity of crabs. So we'll do the same thing for the quantity of crabs. We'll say sum. Why sum? Because we want the total number of goods that we have. So we're going to say sum, and then we say, start by saying sum, and then after that we are adding these, and then after that close our bracket, and then we multiply by the cost for that. Yeah. And then what is the profit or loss? How do we get the profit or loss? So total sales at retail price, after adding the markup minus our cost of sales, you will get what? Your profit. So it will be this minus this, and then you get your profit like this. And then what did they say about the number of customers? We want the number of customers, right? Okay, let's check whether is there any specific criteria or any condition when we were required to calculate the number of customers. So let's read. They said the number of customers, right? Which means there is no condition. It's a comma here, it's a comma here, which means this sentence will end here. They also want the what? The number of customers. How do we calculate the number of customers? We use counter, because we have the names. We are going to use the names to calculate the number of customers, so we'll use counter. So you'll count these, even though they are not yet here, I'll extract them to bring them this side. I'm just designing my formula, so let me just bring them so you'll see what I'm trying to say. So after bringing in my formula, then I take this. They said allow for how many customers? For 6 customers. So we are allowing for 6 customers like this, and then you get your answer. Number of customers. Sorry. Okay, so here what are they looking for? They are looking for the number of customers. So how do we calculate the number of customers? We are going to say equals to, and then we are going to use counter, and then we're using counter because the items that we have, or the names that we have, are not in numerical values. So we're using counter with the A because those are alphabets. These are names of people. We're using the names to calculate. It's not numerical values. So do like this, you get your answer. And then we move. They want what? The number of crabs customers. So there is a condition here, because they're not looking for all the customers, but they are looking for those customers who bought only crepes. Alright, so let's put that function here. So let's start by reading our scenario to understand. They want the number of customers buying crepes irrespective of whether they also buy mussels or not. So they want the number of customers buying crepes. So from what we are reading there, they are saying they want the number of something. If you want the number of something, which function do you use? You use a function called count. But in this case, there is a condition, so you will use a function called what? Countif. And another thing you have to know is that the Sumif and the Countif function, you will never use them on your calculation sheet. Of which, what is the calculation sheet? Is the middle sheet, this sheet here, the cell sheet. You will never find, if you find yourself using a Countif here or a Sumif here, just know that you are doing something wrong. Here, the only function that you will use is the if function, and this side, the countif, and Sumif. These are the functions that you will use this side. So let's design the function for here. Let's design it. So equals to count if, as I said, that there is a condition. Count if. You count if. What are we counting? We're looking for the number of crepe customers. We're looking for the number of crepe customers. So how will we design this thing? So a countif has two parameters, the range and the criteria. So we have the range and our criteria. So what are we going to do? We're going to select the range, and this criteria is going to be based on this range. So we come here to this side. What are we looking for? We're looking for the, let me check the instructions again. We're looking for the number of customers who bought crepes. So how will we get that? So we come here, we analyze. Here, how do we see in this range? How do we see that someone has actually bought something? How do we see that? Here it's a 0. It means Mr. Tom, or this person Tom, didn't buy anything because it's a 0. Here is 13. So anything greater than 0, it means we have a customer. If it's less than 0, if it's 0, it means no one came. We don't have a customer. So it means Mr. Tom is not a customer for crepes. But because Harry is a customer, because we have 13 there, it means that it means because we have that 13 here there, it means Mr. Harry did come and buy the crepes. It means we now have how many customers? 1 customer. And we have Mr. Dick there. He bought 24. So we have how many customers? 2 customers. For what? The crepes. We have 2 customers because 2 people came and bought some items, regardless of how many they bought, but 2 people did come. So we have 2 customers. So how do we then put that in here? So another thing which you should note is that a criteria will always be accompanied by these, the strings. You put the strings here. So your condition, your criteria should always be inside the strings like this. So it's going to be greater than 0. Why? Because that's the only way we can be able to calculate people here, the number of customers that we have. If it's 0, it means there was no customer. This person is not a customer for this. If it's 1 and above, then this person, if it's 0 and if it's above 0, then the person is a customer. Even if it can be 1, that person is a customer. Even if it can be 100, we only have 1 customer who bought 100 crepes. So that's how we calculate this thing. So you close your brackets here, and then enter, you get your answer. And then we move to where we're supposed to calculate the sales of the mussel customers. What are we looking for? We're looking for sales. We're looking for sales of the mussel customers. So let's read our scenario. What are they saying? They are saying that we want to calculate the total sale amount for all customers who bought 10 or more kilograms of mussels. So which function do we use? We use a function called Sumif. We use this function called Sumif. It means it will give us a total of something if there is a condition. We want the total sum of something if there is a condition. So again, if you can look here, we have two ranges. One is the range, this one we have the criteria, and we have the other range of which it's the sum range. So this thing says we want what? The sales of mussel customers. So again, if you may remember from here, how did I calculate the number of customers here? I said to be able to see the number of customers that we have for the crab customer, the crab, this one, we will calculate where it's greater than 0. So even here we do the same thing. We'll calculate for where it's greater than what? 0. Because now we're looking for the mussel customers. So we will say, we'll come this side and then we'll select the range. How do we see that this person is a mussel customer? That we have items here. If there is 1, it means we have 1 customer. If it's 0, we don't have a customer. So how many customers do we have for mussels? We have 2 customers. I'm hoping everyone can understand that. But we have 2 customers here. So what am I going to do? I'm going to press, after selecting that range, after selecting this range, and note that this range will go with the criteria. This range, my criteria is going to be based on this range. So what am I going to say? I'm going to say greater than 0, like this. Then I close my the semi, what is this called, the strings. So sum range, what am I looking for? What do I want Excel to sum at the end? I want Excel to sum what? The total due, of which is the sale amounts for who? For the customers, for this person and this person. So I select this, then I get my answer. So what I'm going to, this is the last thing that I'm going to deal with. And then they are saying here, in cell B15, calculate the average number of the whole kilograms of seafood sold, the mussels and crabs. How do we do that? They are saying calculate the average whole number. The average whole number. So again, as you can see, you are required to use both function, the int and average. So you will start with int, and then you say average. Int average, and then we'll come this side, and then you select, because they said both. They said you want for both the mussels and crabs. So you press enter. Oh, here I forgot to put the bracket. Just press yes, and then you get your answer, and then you will format it. Okay, let me do this one because I almost forgot. This is how you, this is called extracting. So you're extracting this information, but this is not what this thing was about. this video. This video is about this thing, how to calculate the cost of sales and how to use the sum if and the count if function. Here I was looking for what discounted value. Yeah, so you will format it on your own. This is what I was trying to help you with this part here. I wanted you guys to understand because I've been getting questions. Yeah, thank you. If there is something you didn't understand, you can ask there on the comment section. Yeah, thank you for watching. I really appreciate, and if you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing.